Thank you very much for joining us today. And here I have Paul. Paul is a funded trader here at Trade the Paul. So, Paul, thank you very much for joining me today and speaking to me. How's it going?
Yeah, thank you to Alex. Thank you for joining and having this conversation, and I look forward to it.
Amazing. So, do you want to just tell us all just a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your trading journey, how you got into trading?
Yeah, so my name is Paul, and I'm from Kenya. And I first came across trading back in 2015, 2016. That I was in the first year in the university. And yeah, at that point, I didn't know anything about trading at all, like even the basic stuffs like bid and ask and all that stuff. But I put in the work, and I was able to do a lot of researching and everything and be able to get started. But you have to understand that this was pre Robinhood, before Robinhood disrupted the industry in 2019. So basically, a lot of brokers had minimum deposits, huge minimum deposits, then a lot of fees in trading. So if you are basically using a small account, the fees would eat your life. And being a young person down here in Kenya, I couldn't place the money to get started. So all I could do is learn how to get started with trading, knowing that eventually at some point I'm going to have the funds to get going. So I did that for some good number of years. In 2019, I was able to raise some small money again, not a lot of it, just nothing to shout about. So it was just small money. And then I was able to have a broker. And the other unfortunate thing is that I couldn't still get the good brokers that I wanted to have. So it was most of like those brokers were like like they're not so good. Like personally, I did want to get a US broker, but unfortunately, I wasn't getting it. So I was trading binary options. I bet you are aware of binary options. That's 2019.
Yeah.
So the broker was they're not based in the US. So then basically, and when you trade binary options, it's like placing bets on stock. So like you ask like, will Tesla be trading at this point on this day? And then you're given like the odds. So like there's like 80%. So you put like $100. If you win, you're gonna get $180. So if you lose, they're gonna take you $100. So if you look at that game, basically, which is like just placing bets on stock, and that's why binary options are banned in most places, because the edge is always on their side. So because you're risking $100 to make $80. So it was not great, but I still persevered. I was there during the bull market of 2020 and 2021. But by 2022, I had good capital, so that I felt that was good enough, and I got a US broker, and I started trading full time from that point henceforward. So that's how I've been. And then fast forward, so I traded full time in 2022 and 2023. So, and then at the end of last year now, that's 2023, that's when I came across you guys. And yeah, by this time I was trading my own accounts. So, but I was like, I need to check this thing out. It can't hurt having a few buying power on the side. So I was like, I'm gonna check it out. But of course, I was a bit skeptical. I've been there for a long time. I know how these things work. I know a lot of stuff that some folks call them bucket shops. Like I know a lot of, whereby there's a lot of conflict of interest, a lot of unethical stuff going on, probably even potentially illegal. But and also, I bet you're aware that one of the company involved in this type of things found themselves in the regulators last year. I bet you're aware of that. So I was a bit skeptical to begin with, but I signed up. That's why I went for the spot buying power, because I wasn't sure what I'm gonna get. But I started and everything worked out fine, to be honest, even better than I had anticipated. And yeah, now here we are. Like I passed that challenge, and I never had any doubt that I'm gonna pass it, to be honest. Like I knew that I needed to pass this challenge to prove to myself how far I've come as far as trading is concerned. So yeah, I'm grateful to be here and grateful to have a funded account on the side, even though I haven't tested it yet, but I know soon I'm gonna be able to do it. And I look forward to it.
In the simplest definition, how do you define the way that you trade?
So all this time since 2015 learning the markets, like my edge has always been on short selling small caps. Yeah, there's a very huge edge there. But then now those years this strategy used to be passed around like some card secrets, like nobody was talking about it. But it has become mainstream nowadays. You see a lot of people posting it all over the place. So because of that, another edge has emerged, which is now basically buying those small caps. So because everybody is doing the same thing, everybody is short selling them. So those that don't fade, and I bet you have seen that, they tend to go higher than even people thought because you have shorts crowded, they not trade, and they're not being let out. So for instance, just last month, or no, this month, we had BMR. I think that's a stock I did so well on. And then we had POL last January. In January, we had a couple of them, and they can learn 500%, 1,000%, crazy amount of percentage. Last year, December, I think we had TPST, which ran like 4,000 or 3,000%, which is crazy. So, and this is because of how that side of trading is crowded. But occasionally also, I do trade large caps, and this is like Tesla's, but not every day. Only on days I call like they start extra range. So news driven day, maybe there's earnings, some news sector, yeah, such stuff.
Nice. Okay. And is there any kind of tip that you'd give a new trader to push their trading towards profitability faster?
Yeah. Like we have this. I bet you have also been trading. We have this thing that breaks a lot of traders, and basically it's that most people tend to hold on their resources longer, and they take profits quicker. And when you think in terms of it from a psychological perspective, it's that there's always a pain associated with being wrong. So people don't want to accept they're wrong and cut that resource. So they hold on to resources longer than they should be. And then there's that instant gratification of being right. So they don't let the winners learn, they just take the profits. So my advice is normalize cutting your losses quicker, and not just quicker, also intelligently, and normalize us holding on to your losers, to your winners. And if you can, you should pyramid into that winner. Basically, pyramiding we call, so unprofitable traders pyramid into losers. They keep adding as it's going against them, hoping that at some point it's gonna bounce and then they win the trade. And then they can't add into a winner. So in fact, you should do the inverse of that. Whenever the trade is going against you, get out of it. And when it's going in your favor, you can add into it, knowing that now you have what we call the house money. You're risking now the house money, which is the unrealized gain. So yeah, so that's that. And it's always easier said than done, but if you can master that, you'll be in a great advantage.
Nice, great stuff. And what does the future hold for you now? You're a funded trader. Have you got any specific goals? Anything that you're looking to achieve now you've become a funded trader?
Yeah, so of course I have the accounts on the side. I look for how this whole thing is gonna be. I just started out, and if it works, great. And when I see like it's everything that I think it's gonna be, then I'm definitely gonna go for another account. Remember, like this whole thing was just to see you how guys, to have a feel for you guys. But so I look forward to that. Maybe you're gonna be here doing another interview for another challenge past. So hopefully, but also I also do have some personal accounts on the side. So, but it can't hurt having extra buying power on the side, definitely.
Of course. So I know that obviously we talked earlier about maybe showing kind of an analysis, something like a kind of technique that could help people. If we just share your screen, and if you can just show us maybe just one technique that traders can use, maybe it's like an indicator, or maybe it's something that they can start testing to see if they can use that in their trading. Is there something like that you have in mind?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm gonna show you a trade that I took yesterday.
Nice.
And so let me share. I share my screen. So yesterday we had Palo Alto, which is PNW yesterday.
Yep.
So if you look at Palo Alto, here's the daily chart. Here it is. If you look at Palo Alto yesterday, it gapped down from 360 and it was opening at 270s. So basically what was happening here, it's that they had earnings. Of course, they did well on the earnings. They did not disappoint. But what they did is that they lowered their guidance. And basically when a company lowers guidance, what they are meaning is that the street is kind of overvaluing them. So they are kind of telling the street, like, we don't think we are that worth. So that's why the stock gapped down huge. Now, I wanted to show this trade specifically because it was what we call a contrarian trade. Like, a lot of folks were like, they got themselves on the wrong side of this trade. And I'm just going to show you why, all the psychology behind that trade. And so as you can see, this was where the earning happened. And you can see that huge flash. And then we gap down, we continue to go down. So traders always have this perception that stocks are cheap or they are expensive. Now, a stock is never cheap or expensive. A stock is just the way it is. Like, you can never be thinking that it's cheap or expensive. So that's what most people are thinking yesterday. So what happened was, what happened at the gate, this stock was printing 275. And I had some of my trading buddies that they were saying it's got a bounce at least 290 or 300. And I was like, you know, if you're stepping inside of it, you're fighting that trade and you're basically asking for it. So, and also you can see there was a huge moving average here, 268. So what happened is, for me, I was still that it's going to have a red day. So as most people are positioning long because they can see this moving average, which is a key level, a lot of people are watching this 200-day moving average here. So for me, I shorted it on the opening print. If you can look at the opening print on the 3 minutes, is that you'll see it. The opening print here, it was at 275. I nailed it there. And a lot of people wanted a reverse to go long, but I knew it's going to keep fading. And by the end of the day, I think I took my covers here around 260s, 261s. And it was a cool 15 bucks or 15 points fade. So even with just 500 shares, that's 75, that's 7 grand, which is a good payday. So yeah, that was a very perfect trade that I took yesterday.
And why did you decide to go for the contrarian route? Why did you decide to fade a move when a lot of people would have gone long?
Yeah, the first thing is that, like, that was an event-driven trade, because remember, this company is saying that lowering their guidance is that whatever they're doing is that they're basically telling the street that we don't think we are worth on this. And if you can see that the stock is basically coming from 360s, it's coming from basically its recent high, which I think was 380. So the idea is there was still some folks who are still positioned long, and they still haven't they wanted to get out. Yeah, they wanted to get out. And funny enough, I also took another trade, and now this was the opposite of it. CLWD, CrowdStrike. So they almost trade similar, and you'll see it. If you're familiar with the markets, you know that these two trades similar. So Palo Alto is in cybersecurities, and also Crowd is kind of the same. So you can see when Palo Alto dumped, also this one dumped. So now here's a different trade. And now if Palo Alto did what this ticker did, I would have traded it. So here what this ticker did is that it called what we call, they puked out everybody. Yeah. Let me show you. You can see this when it opened. Look at it. It opened at 283. Immediately flashed to 273. At that point, everybody wanted to get out is out, and everybody wanted to get in is now in, and that's why you can see that huge bottoming week. That huge bottoming week is saying that buyers stepped up, and now we're ready to go. So at that point, because we have exhausted everybody on the downside, so there's no longer any buyers probably left. Any buyers who are holding on it, saying like, I'm going to see what it does. Within this 10-buck flash, they were probably out, and short sellers who had shorted it, also it gapped up. Also it was also gapping down because of Palo Alto from 300 gapping down lower. And also, like this they're in the same basket. So we call this basket trade. So when you're trading Palo Alto, PA and W, you can also trade CRWD. Just like when you're trading NVIDIA, NVIDIA had strong earnings yesterday. You can also be trading AMD, you can trade SMCI, you can trade SMH, they go hand in hand like that. So because the news was not about this company, it was Palo Alto. This one washed out everybody, puked, and then it was a very decent trade. Currently it's trading at 303. So if you bought and held overnight, it's a very, very sorry trade. So that's the thing. Like the news was about Palo Alto.
Yep.
And then I still felt that, okay, these companies, they're still great companies, both of them. They have a legit business, they can close the gap. So, but for yesterday, I felt that trade will continue on the downward side, irrespective of people looking for. So for me, I went for the continuation of trade, while people are looking for the reversal. So, and at the end of the day, I came out on top.
Nice, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for showing this analysis, and I wish you all the best in your new funded account. And hopefully we can have a follow-up conversation once you've taken a few payouts, and maybe if you take another account and you start building up all of that funds. So
definitely. I also look forward to it.
All right then. Well, again, Paul, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you too.